Defining Marriage, Voices from a 40-Year Labor of Love. Where did this whole thing begin? I guess 40 years ago.
Yeah, it really did. For me, it started a couple years ago when I started getting involved in the marriage equality movement after Prop 8 passed in California. That was the marriage ban in California in 2008. I started doing a lot of activism and reporting. I worked on the Prop 8 trial. And, I've just been a part of the marriage equality conversation community, going to protests and covering it as a writer. But, the marriage equality story starts decades ago. And one of the reasons I wrote this book is because I was meeting all these folks with fascinating stories. In the early days, in the 70s, there's folks like Cleela Rorex, who was this clerk in Boulder. She was a young woman, just been elected to her position, had never met an out gay person in her life when these two men came into her office and said, we'd like to get married. And she was like, well, let me think about that. And she looked into it and she's like, well, I can't think of a reason not to, so here you go. This was 1973. And, she paid a heavy price for that. She, the massive backlash. But she was the first clerk, the first government official that we can find any record of who's knowingly issued a license to LGBT couples. But others before that have managed to do it through some clever subterfuge and trick officials into thinking that they were heterosexual. But she was the first one to knowingly do it. And she's still alive today, still active in equality causes.